Go. I'd like to call to order Open Space Farmland Preservation Subcommittee for June 21st, 2024 at 6 p.m. I don't see anybody from the public. Do we have any correspondence from anybody from the public?
No.
Okay. I'll ask for approval in minutes for May 28th, 2024.
Motion to approve?
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Discussion, community gardens. We have some input on that, or?
I just read through the minutes. You wanted to talk about community gardens. I don't have information tonight. I did contact, remember Kip?
Yes.
Contacted Kip. He didn't return any
Okay.
of my emails. I contacted the Department of Agriculture. I don't know if you remember Cam
Yep.
Winmar.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't returned any contact to me. I'm not sure if they're not getting my emails or they just don't want to deal with Rocky Hill anymore. But, just for the new members, Kip, he's private consultant, but he consults for the Department of Ag and for the Farmland Preservation Trust and for the Natural Resource Conservation Service. He helped us analyze the soils on the farm during our purchasing process. And Cam, we worked with Cam to purchase the development rights for these farms that we have now preserved, because most of those farms were, the cost was mitigated by state grants. So we worked with Kim for about 3 years working on different properties. So how do you want to approach the community gardens? Any ideas? I mean, there are rules, there should be rules, there's a process, and how about establishing the community gardens, how they're managed? We need to have a management process in place. We need to have an organization or an individual or something monitoring and managing the community gardens. We have to come up with a price, we have to come up with rules and a whole bunch of things. I'd like to get somebody in to talk to us again about that, unless as farmers you may know better, what areas. I know we had an area designated in the eastern portion of what we call parcel A, the front part.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Bob said it might be too wet to do that.
Possibly.
Bob Alvarado.
Possibly. I have phone calls in him. He's not calling me back either. Well, maybe they just see the name pop up and just
Yeah.
don't like us.
Bob, I think, recommended we relocate the community gardens to the
South of the barn,
Mm-hmm.
which
south
is
of the barn and also further east, closer to the entrance area.
Okay.
He said it was a better area, it was drier, it was closer to the barn, closer to any water source
closer to parking.
and parking. I'd probably recommend maybe a site walk.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't been, you guys didn't, well, you're out there all the time, but you haven't been actually walking around the barn area looking at.
I'm sneaking, peeking through the bushes.
Looking at where, having a map that we have and kind of walking through and saying, okay, here's the barn, here's the parking area, let's take a look at here.
Mm-hmm.
And you can look at the vegetation and the soils and see, what would be a better area. To actually, let's designate the area first, and then we can get consultation in to find out how do we, okay, we know where we want to have it, we know the land area, what do we do next?
Mhm.
I don't know how to do that, so
Right.
I'll find somebody who does.
I would just keep one thing into consideration is that it's not too close to whoever's got the northern parcel, Fran,
Mm-hmm.
for farming,
Lisa's got some, and Billy.
where the community gardens are, if they're spraying their own chemicals, that it's not affecting
Yeah,
the bigger garden.
right.
I think there's a buffer there,
Big
a
enough
pretty
buffer?
good buffer. I just,
I think there's a water course that cuts through
there
there.
is a water course, and I'm hoping too that the community garden doesn't kind of blend into that
Mm-hmm.
northern parcel.
No, we can't do that. That's definitely not going to happen.
Okay.
Anything on the other side of that stream is
Right.
the
Farms.
farms.
I think we had some examples of some, like, I don't want to say contracts or past.
Yeah,
And we'll try to grab a few of those again.
yeah, let me go look into my older files and pull out the, I know we have different, like 10 steps to a community garden, and then we had a document about, a larger document about the whole process from start to
Okay.
finish.
Right.
And how to, we also had, I think, documents on like the town of Newington. I think they have,
Yeah, I
program.
thought we had a couple of different
Yeah.
towns.
but I'd like to get either the Farmland Trust in or somebody from the Department of Ag. Hopefully Kip will have a contact if I can get a hold of him.
Mm-hmm. So I know Lisa's brought that in the past, that we got to kind of get this
Now,
wrapped up
Yeah,
this
if we can get
fall.
the ball
early
going of,
yeah, for the next season, right?
Right.
yeah, because I'm thinking that if we can get some organization going on the community gardens, this can all be all set by January, and if people are interested, and I don't know, this is one thought that I discussed with Bob, was having different size parcels, one for, one or two people, or some family of 4, or family of 6, or a larger plot for somebody that needs more area. I don't know, just food for thought, and, who would be interested, and try to get it all situated for how much square footage we have, and how many families are interested in having a parcel of land to raise their own fresh vegetables or what they wish on it. To have it set up and kind of in place so that next spring, when Threat of Frost is over, everybody's kind of like knowing where they're going to be set up for camp for the summer, and have at it.
Sounds like we have a volunteer.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
Heard that.
she could organize things.
Yeah.
The other thing, I would probably get input from Bill Collins, because he's got something similar there. I forgot the acronym, but it's almost like a community
Like a co-op?
co-op. Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
his
So-
CSAs.
Yeah, so if there's any pros and cons that he's experienced that we could be on the lookout for, to avoid.
Is the CSA more of he grows and then
Correct.
Then-
they buy from
Buy a
him,
weekly
more so than
alpaca.
I thought it was more of that they had a plot of land.
No.
It's like a
He grows-
subscription.
He
almost.
grows it
Okay,
all, yeah.
It's more like a
Yeah.
a subscription kind of thing, like you get records once a month or, whatever, those something of the month type of
Get a
clubs.
weekly, yeah.
Yeah, they get weekly deliveries of whatever's in season,
Oh,
because
okay.
we've done
Right.
that before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had just a few thoughts. One of them is, I think the idea of the different size plots is a good one. Also, if we take an approach of doing raised beds, it might make it easier for people of different heights, or people who have different access, if they want to do carrots, or if they have trouble getting up and down. It also would make it very clear where those boundaries are, and like assigning people plots. I'm not sure if that's what they're doing in Newington or other places. That might be something to consider. Another thought was that I think over in Weathersfield, they have, with Keisha Farm, they have a Friends of Keisha Farm group. I don't know if there's, like we have Friends of the Library, if there's a way to do a Friends of group that might handle some of the management and maybe do some fundraising for different things that aren't directly funded by the town. I'm not sure if that's what other folks in other towns have been doing, but that might be a way of taking some of the management away from this committee once we get it stood up. But also allow them to do things like maybe there's a shed they want to get for potting, or other things that may not come out of the town budget, but maybe they can fundraise it for, go for the Greater Hartford Foundation or other pools of grants that are out there that are smaller. That might be something to consider as well if other towns have looked at doing that. I don't know how you start that. I just want to throw it out there. And then, other towns are doing, you mentioned Newington. Let's just get best practices from other people who are doing it. Try to use as much of what they've already, done and experienced and learned from. Do it here, and we'll improve as we go.
As you know, we have no water there right now.
Well, I think that would be one of the plans that we would need to have by. If we don't have water there, it's not going to work at all, right?
Because you have to have a bathroom in the barn, right?
No, just to
It's
water
not,
the plant.
it's it's provided for, but it's not there yet, because right now, the barn is up. Tomorrow they're gonna put some finishing touches on it, and it's gonna be locked up. It's not for occupancy. It has a CO, but it can't be used right now until we have the bathrooms figured out and done. So we have that phase 2, phase 3, whatever that's gonna cost.
Yeah, right now, we have no purpose for use, right? It's,
Right.
yeah.
I mean, you could always put a porta potty out there if we have to, until things get going.
For the garden, sure.
Yeah.
Not for the classrooms, I don't think.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the garden part.
You'd probably have to bring in one of those trailers that have air conditioning and all that, and then you run into, where's the electricity come from? Maybe it's a generator, I don't know. The ones I've seen are usually plugged in.
Did
But maybe
they
it could be a
have well water
generator.
there before?
Excuse
Or
me?
did they hook into the street?
Well,
Well,
It was well?
Well, there are 2 wells there. I don't know if they're potable or not. We
I think
haven't
one-
had
I
them
think
tested.
one they-
Have we had them
they
tested?
Yeah, the one that actually Streska used, I believe, was tested.
I'm not sure which one that is. I think that's the one up the hill further without the box around it.
So I thought we had talked at some point about getting MDC involved to help run
Yeah, that's,
water, because if we don't have a way of people, to water their crops, then I think that's kind of setting the whole thing up for, I mean, maybe you got a couple people who will bring water to the site, but that's a whole different problem.
Well, that's why I brought it up, because right now, we don't have that provision in, if we're gonna have to sink a well and/or have MDC and it's gonna cost us, that's gonna have to be budgeted for,
or utilize the well that's there.
or utilize the well that's there.
And that's what I was thinking. I mean.
We have to have it
it's-
tested and
because
all
it's-
that.
It's expensive for the MDC to
Oh, yeah,
hook something in.
yeah.
I think the water for a garden, we don't irrigate on my farm ourselves, it's- yeah. It's either, if it's so severe, we bring up buckets and water, but normally just Mother Nature takes care of it, so. I think if somebody wants a small plot and they want to bring water in, they could bring it in for the time being, for a start, yeah.
And we can see what other communities have. They might not have water either.
True, yeah. Good. Anything else? Anybody else?
Do we know how we're separating the parcels and the plots and everything, and how we're gonna price it out and things like that? And how are people going to, is it gonna be like a lottery? Because what if we have 20 plots and 25 people want it? How are we gonna pick that?
We don't know any of those things yet.
It's part of this whole planning process.
Yeah. And it might be first come, first serve. And then when it's filled, and then you have them for, I don't know, a year or 2 years. I don't know how that works with the growing season.
Yeah.
Have them like put a deposit down saying that they're guaranteeing that they want that plot for that season, so that way we
Right.
don't lose out.
And a waiting list if they default.
Well, we have a lot of space there too, at least, I'm not sure about the Weaver's Drive, but there's almost 10 acres on that side, I think, so we've got, depending on the size of
What's
what we're
plantable.
doing. Right, right.
True, yeah.
And manageable. I think we start.
Yeah. We can start small and expand.
work our way up.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
So maybe we'll try to gather some more info from other towns.
Yeah, we can
next
do that.
meeting.
Yeah, and also I'll try to get somebody in.
Yeah, that's good.
Does anybody know what towns do it? I know my town does.
I have.
You have a list of
information.
towns?
Yeah.
It sounds like Weathersfield, Newington might, their neighbors.
A lot of them out east,
East,
eastern
yeah.
Connecticut.
Probably Glastonbury, too.
Yeah, there's a thing out in South Windsor, they have a field that the people just randomly go to, that I've seen.
Probably all the floodplains around the major rivers. They do them.
Good. Anything else on community gardens? Anybody have? You want to make a motion for executive session, or?
Make a motion to go into executive session regarding negotiation strategy, potential land acquisitions.
Second it?
Can you just amend that and add with town manager and director of community development?
Absolutely.
I'll amend the motion to include, to restate negotiation and strategy, potential land acquisitions with town manager and community development director.
I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Unlock some doors.
One back here, right?
Do we bring all our maps?
You guys want to bring in your paperwork for land?
Show up with your bag full of goods.
Goodies.
makes my minutes a lot easier to do when you're behind a door.
So Mimi emailed me about signing in.
Oh, we do have any.
Oh, sorry.
It's on here. Yeah, are you on? Okay, we came out of executive session. Another item of business, other business. Do we have any other business to discuss?
I gave you the update on the barn, so.
Yep, sounds good. Motion to
Did
adjourn.
we have the construction, we talked about taking construction photos, phasing, is that online somewhere?
Not yet. We were waiting for the final touch, the trim work, and Mike O'Toole will finish his.
They have some touch-up paint that they're gonna do tomorrow, finish the doors, some other minor stuff.
We'll have a time lapse of from when the house was being taken down all the way up to the ending. Very cool.
There's still a bunch of grading that needs to be done and planting, but that can't be till the fall with the planting and that kind of stuff.
So we'll have something online before that.
Good. Any other business? Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Have a good evening.